Hello and welcome to the Coaches Lounge with yours truly, Barbara J. Beckley from the Diamond Factor Network, CEO and founder of the Diamond Factor Network. I'm so glad that you're here today. This is a special edition of the Coaches Lounge because it's just going to include a teaching more so than having a guest. Now, usually I created this show to make sure that coaches, educators, and consultants are spotlighted to the world, spotlighting experts that give advice for life and also for business. Now, I always told myself, I said I was searching, because there's a whole bunch of different shows, TV streaming shows, cable shows, Roku, all those shows, that you can find all these different shows with different talk shows, anything, right? Any kind of show that you can name of. But I never really seen a show that was really dedicated to coaches, to getting to know what kind of coach that person is, to getting to know a little bit about their background, to just drawing back a little bit of who they are, how they became that coach that they wanted to be, that business coach or that celebrity coach or personal development coach, foodie coach, life and health, life coach. I mean, in the list and the titles goes on when it comes to different coaches, consultants, and educators. And I throw in educators and consultants because I feel like they're different in each lane that they're in because it's a different lane for each. Just want to let you know that. Let me give you a little side note on that because a coach and consultant is two different people. And an educator, consultant, and coach is a different person. But one thing that they have in common is that they help individuals or businesses or groups and challenge them and help them and guide them and give them tips on how they can grow in their livelihood, be it as they're doing in their business or they're doing in their personal growth or even in both. Now, I always tell people one thing about a coach in this capacity. This is something that's very, very, very serious. I know you say, oh my God, Barbara's saying the serious word. Yes, it's very serious because think about it. When you sign up in a coach program, this is something now you have to be vulnerable. You have to be open. You can't leave out anything. No, what's the old saying? They say, no, all stones turned or whatever the saying goes. I'm going. Everything's turned in your life. The skeletons come out the closet type of thing. And you're probably like, well, shoot, I don't want people knowing. They don't need to know all about that. But you know what? If you're trying to get to the next level, depending on where you're at in your life, you can't half step. If you're really trying to be that big, whatever you're trying to get to, that big star, like for me, okay, I'll use me as an example. My goal is to get to Oprah status, not becoming Oprah, because Oprah is her own genius, her own queen of herself. And she has her own gifts that God put in her that she has given not just to herself, but to so many others in the world. But see, Barbara J. Beckley has gifts too that she wants to give out and help people in the world. But in order to do that, Barbara has to be open for forever learning, forever growing, forever tweaking, forever changing, forever taking it in and saying, okay, maybe I need to do that change. Maybe I need to go this direction. Always being open and then being honest, not with just her coach, but with herself. And it's funny because in the last few months, Barbara has been really open and honest a little bit more and more, even more so. I thought I was open before about myself. Ooh, I opened some more gates, some more floodgates to find out that, there was some other things that needed to be unturned, the stones to unturn. Yes. So what happened to that is that Barbara had to take a pause. And I had to take a pause. And I had to ask myself, self, are you on the target on what you should be doing in your own world? See, one thing I told myself a long time ago, I said, whatever I choose to do in this world, that I want to be the best at it. I want to be the person that comes and says, Barbara, she knows what she's talking about. She has done the work. She has worked hard and she cares about others. That's my values for me, for others to know about who I am. And that goes into my business, that goes into my personal growth. Because I told myself, I said, if I can't show up the way I need to for myself, okay, and then for others, okay, that's second, then I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. I need to refocus and reanalyze this whole thing because I'm completely off. Because I tell people, if you are in that vein of being a coach, you're pouring into somebody else's life. And whatever level they're in their life, be it if they're just starting, be it if they're restarting, be it if they're in the middle somewhere, or be it if they're the way at the top and they just want just to get even higher up. I don't care where they land. You are a very big instrument in their lives for them, for being a coach. So I take that serious. You know how some people say, I take what I do seriously, and you should when you're a coach. Now, I'm not here to be like, oh my God, Barbara, ooh, you're getting deep. You're almost scaring me and stuff. No. You know what? I'm going to put it like this. I need to put a little scare in you. I had to put a lot of scare in me because I'm accountable. You're accountable. We're all accountable for others when we become coaches. As soon as you put that coach next to your name, your accountability goes up even higher than it was. Because now you're not only being accountable for yourself and what you do, but you got to be accountable for somebody else's life. And I'm going to take it even further. That's a life change where they can either go a right way and just blossom and be the best that they are in whatever avenue they're going to be in, or you can help them go, and now they're in another lane that you don't want to be in. And I definitely don't want to be a part, of their lane going the other direction, if I can help it. Now, if you do everything you can and you learned everything you're supposed to learn as a coach and you giving them the good tips and staying with them and talking to them and giving them the advice that they need and pushing them to a point where it's not pushing them so much that they're pushing off the ledge, but at least give them a little push so they can move towards what they want to do. And they still didn't do any work, didn't follow any kind of advice, didn't listen to anything, didn't take down no notes, didn't fill out no worksheets, you see what I'm saying? Didn't listen to what you had to do as a coach, then okay, that's a whole different story. Then it's on them. I always tell people it takes two to tango. It's not, see, people, they really, and I got to do this because this is a disclaimer here. What really gets me is you're giving it everything that you got and more as a coach. And they don't even do half of what you ask them to do, but then they'll turn right around. Just some people do this. I had them in my life. I'm a witness. They'll come right around and say, well, it didn't work. It didn't give me where I needed to go. I don't know what happened. You're not really a good coach. I shouldn't have hired you. I paid all this money for what? Has anybody heard that before? Or heard somebody that went through it? Okay, maybe you weren't the one. Okay, we'll leave you alone. If you don't want to tell it, that's on you. But I know I heard it. And I know a lot of other coaches that I know heard it too. And if you are a coach, live a little longer. Be a coach a little bit longer, and you'll probably hear it too. And I'm not saying that that's supposed to be like, oh, Barbara's negative. No, that's just how life happens. People are not always going to do what they should do. Because you can take a person all the way. I mean, even to the point where you even want to eat for them. You know how they say you take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink? Even if you want to sip the water for them, and you know you can't, because they have to do it, but you bring them so close to that and they still don't do it. What can you do? Right? What can you do? So, but And I'm looking at the other side as being a coach now. Okay, now they don't do what they do, but you need to do what you need to do as a coach. So that goes back to that accountability of you being the coach that you said. If you're a speech coach, that should be your vein of studying and picking up and experience. If you're a life coach, that's your lane. You should be studying and getting that experience and pushing and always what's the nuances of things within your area. You need to continuously learn and grow. If you're a health style coach, the same thing. I don't care, coach. You put whatever word to it, coach, and whatever that vein that you're in, you should be making sure that you are accountable for that. I call myself a purpose, visibility, social media consultant. I used to say coach. Some people still call me a coach. I picked consultant for a reason. And that took me back to where I had to really figure out who I was. Because like I said, remember I said coach and consultant is two different things. Coach is going to be with you through, you know how a coach, just think of a coach as a football coach. Let's just take that example. That coach is always going to be you day in, day out, going to be pushing you, motivating you, giving you the skills and everything. And they want you to follow through. And they're going to be checking and checking and checking and checking. You have a life coach, they're going to be with you for life. This almost like they moved into your territory and you didn't even know that you were going to have another neighbor in your wheelhouse of life. And that coach comes in and he or she's there. Now, depending on how long the coaching is, there can be different coaching programs. You can have for 3 months, you can have for 1 month, you can have for 2 days. That's a whole, scalable how long you want the coach. But most of the times, coaches for you for life a lot of times. Or you change different coach type titles. So that's one thing. Okay. Now going back to what I am, what I changed to consultant. Now with a consultant, I help you get the pieces at the beginning of whatever stages you are when it comes to understanding who you are, your purpose, as they say, and understand that visibility is connected with that. See, I always say purpose and visibility go hand in hand, and they do. Because once you find out who you are, what you do, and why you do it, and when you do it, and who you do it for, then people need to know that. And that's where the visibility comes in at. And if people don't see who you are, then all that learning, all that experience, all that know-how, all that continuously, evaluating yourself and making sure that you're accountable for yourself as a coach and all that kind of stuff that you're doing is in vain because nobody don't know who you are. So I come in and say, okay, now that you know this part of you, you got that on lock, as they say. Now we need to get you visible. And I help you in another array of things that I have in my little tool cabinet of how to become more visible. And even with the visibility, I had to take myself. Now I'm just walking you through what I had to go through. Because I always tell people, if you can't even tell your story and how you went through your high mountains and low valleys, then maybe you should rethink your coaching or your consulting company. Because you have to be somewhere where you understand and know what you know. People feel like you've been there with them. You build that relationship, you build that connection when you've been through certain things. I'm not saying you got to go through the same thing another person goes through, but at least analyze, understand what it is if you're going to be in that lane as a coach. Now, for me, visibility, I could say 7 years ago, don't even talk about visibility to me. I wanted to be invisible. Yes, the word invisible, not visible, but invisible. And I made myself that too. I made sure that I just did what I needed to do. I did the same thing every day. Got up, got myself together, went to my day job, my corporate job, stayed there for 7.5 hours or longer if I had to do overtime, left, went home, got myself together at home, relaxed for maybe an hour, got on the computer, do some things I want to do, and then went to bed. Same thing every day. I added school in there because I knew one thing about it. Whatever I was doing, what did I say earlier? You should be always forever learning, always forever educating yourself. And that's what I would do. I just became that, that educator slash insurance guru or whatever you want to call. And that's what I did. But one day, see, this is where when things happen in your life, and you got to remember what made the tides turn in your life. Sometimes there's certain things that make that tide, this turn in your life. And what turned in my life was my manager. I've been at the company at that time for 19 years. And she came to me and she said, Barbara, you've been with me for 6, because I was with her for 6 years. She said, I've been noticing something. You're an excellent employee. Wonderful, amazing. You come here, you do your job, you talk to your clients, you make sure things are covered, you make sure they have the right coverage, because I work in insurance. I said an insurance broker. She said, you do all that. But guess what? You have the potential to be more than just customer service. You have potential to be more than an account specialist title. You have the potential to be a leader. Not just in this area, she said, but she said, I can see your leader outside of the insurance world. Blew my mind. Because first, I didn't consider myself as a leader. I didn't consider myself that I can even do anything like that. I was hiding behind my computer. I told you, I was invisible, not visible, invisible. There was no lights, camera action going on here. It was just a dim, maybe a real dim light. It was flickering sometime. But it flickered enough for my manager to see that I had potential. She's seen it. I probably knew it way back in my mind, but I wasn't bringing it forward. But she brought it to my attention again. And she said, we need to do something about that. She said, because you've been here so long, Barbara, and you know that people don't even know who you are. I said, wait a minute. How do you know who I am? I come here every day. I come and work here every day. What are you talking about? They don't know who I am. Really? I mean, I was thinking about that. I didn't tell her all that because I knew better. I mean, I respected her. But I did tell a little joke. I said, really? I said, really? They don't know? She said, no. She said, I'm not saying in a bad way. They don't know who you are, that you can become that individual. I keep telling you, to get to that next level is being a leader, because they don't know who Barbara is. You're just a worker bee. Like she said, I know we're all worker bees here, but you're just, you're just on that. You could be anybody. They say, okay, Barbara, move Barbara, put somebody else, and just keep on going if they work the same way you work. She said, I don't want you to be that. This is not a factory job. And she said, you have too much potential to just be that, like working what they call widgets or gadgets or whatever. She said, that's not that type of party here. So she introduced me to an organization that had a meeting twice a month, and it was called, it is still called Toastmasters International, a communication and leadership organization, which helps individuals in any capacity that they are, any level that they are in their speaking or in their leadership, to grow, to understand, and to be able to not only become a leader and be more in your communication better, but rise up in whatever area that you're trying to rise up in. She had me join. And you heard she had me join. Because after she had my pep talk, she took me down to the meeting, because we had meetings at our company there, because they created a club there. And she took me to the meeting that day. I know, see that, you know how they said set up to get you a head up? That's what I say. It was set up to get me a heads up into my world. The world of now understanding of, first of all, understanding who I really was, the potential that I had within me to make it grow, to make it really stand out. Then after that, be visible enough so people knew who I was, who Barbara J. Beckley was. That's been it's been 9 years ago. And today I can honestly say, and I'm so humbled at the fact that I can now say, and I can stand strong and tall, that I love my mission and my vision in life is to help women, especially women entrepreneurs, understand what their true purpose is, and then get the lights, camera, action on them, which I call the visibility of their lives, because people need to know their gifts. People need to know what they do so they can understand. So those coaches out there, those consultants, those educators, I want them to shine. And that's one of the reasons why I created this particular platform. This is part of visibility. I ask coaches of all different types to a certain point. Let me put it there. I had to pause because there's some that might be coaches in a negative aspect, and I really don't want to bring them on the platform. Because remember what I said about understand your values. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So that's why I created this. And I know you're like, wow, she went, and I want to tell a little bit of the story and give you some things to think about, because like I said, today it's more of I want to bring more of a learning impact type of setting to you right now. Because like I said, usually I do have different coaches I interview, but I wanted to make this a special edition, and I'll be doing more of these, because it's one thing to bring on individuals and then you get to know them, get to know their background. Maybe you want to hire them as a coach. But then there's another thing. If I'm talking about the coaches lounge, I'm a coach / consultant myself. I know some things. I can give you some golden nuggets, right? And I want to make sure that with this whole platform that you're getting the best of both worlds. Remember I said earlier about when you're in the lane that you're in, you want to drive and be the best that you can be. You want to be that expert that people come to and say, hey, I got a question for you. I know you do well in this area. And that's what I want you to think about if you are going into your world or to your, orbit with what you do. Okay. So one thing, what did I say earlier? Get my notes here. Got something very vulnerable. I got my notes because I want to make sure I'm on target. So I always say choosing the right personal or business coach is a critical decision. Excuse me so much. My nose wants to start to itchy now. Decision that can be a significant impact to your personal and professional development. And I have 4 tips that I want to go over real to you. Because remember what I said, when you bring in a coach in your life, when you bring a consultant, when you bring in an educator in your life, they're coming to be a part of your life. They're becoming to get to know you in the areas that you need them to come in and help some kind of way. You bring in a coach in your life because you're trying to do that you're saying to yourself, I need more than just what I know. I don't know the know-how and everything. We all don't know everything, okay? I don't know everything. I don't know how to sell well. I'm going to put it out there. But I got a business / sales coach to show me and to tell me the techniques and to practice with me and to give me things to help me in that area. So I got to have a coach for that. I need a health coach. I want to lose weight. I want to be healthy at my age. I'm getting older. Well, I'm older. Okay. I'm old. Oh, no, I'm getting older. I'm getting more wisdom. I'm getting more wise. Let's put it that way. And I want to stay consistent in my health so things don't start to change a little bit because I'm getting older and things are already changing. And I know I need to go and take care of that and get the knowledge of somebody that knows about health and welfare of that. I'm okay with accounting. I mean, I took accounting when I was in college and stuff, but I need somebody that deals with finances that can tell me, okay, what stocks maybe I need to buy, or can even tell me to the point of, okay, you need some life coverage to make sure that you're not only stable, but when you pass away and get your wings, as I always tell people, then what? Are you going to leave everybody to do a sale on, trying to get money up for you because you didn't do the right thing by getting a policy? Or did you leave a lot of crazy bills and a whole bunch of other things, obligation that you had? So now your family, whoever, has to deal with it. So I got to get a coach in that area that knows how to deal with investing, knows how to deal with financing. I don't have that total knowledge of that. So you got to be true to yourself. Okay. And this goes into the first thing you want to think about when you're picking a coach and when you're looking for a coach is defining your goals and your needs. Okay. Before you seek out a coach, you clearly want to define your goals and what you hope to achieve through the coaching, whether it's personal, whether it's career, whether it's business, whether, succeed. Having a clear understanding of your objectives, your goals, it will help you find the right coach with the right experience and the right expertise. Like I said, experience, expertise. And it specializes in a certain area that you need. So you want to consider certain challenges that you're facing in the areas that you want to see improvement in. Like I said earlier, me and sales is not it sometimes, most of the time. So I know I need improvement in that. Now, if I wasn't true to myself and told myself, well, I mean, I can do it. I can just look on Google University, and do what I need to do. I don't need anybody. I can figure it out for myself. Why? Why waste that time? Now you're putting extra energy in something that you can probably get somebody else to help you and get you faster in where you're trying to go. Because remember, if you're a coach in a certain area, you should be concentrating on your lane. You shouldn't be all over the place everywhere where you're trying to learn and grow in other areas that you know you can bring somebody in on like a team for yourself to get the knowledge to move forward. So you need to look at the place where you're struggling, that you need that improvement, and be true to yourself what those areas are. Look in the mirror to yourself and tell yourself, yes, I need help in this area, and I need to find somebody that's good in this area. And that will tell you when you start searching for the coach that you need. So have that stuff written down somewhere. Don't just go and say, oh, I need a financial coach, and then go, okay, what do you need a financial coach for? Is this something that you need improvement in? What do you want them to do for you? What kind of growth are you looking for? What's the end result that you're looking for with this coach? Those are questions that you have to ask yourself before you even go out and set out to look for any coach, period. Else you're wasting, you're just turning yourself around and around. So that's one thing that I want you all to set pace, is to define define your goal, define what you're trying to do, define your areas of improvement and what's the need. And write that down and have that with you when you're looking for a coach. Second, assess the qualifications and the experience of that coach. And this, we'll throw this in here. This is an easy plug. The Coaches Lounge with Barbara J. Beckley is a wonderful resource for you, because guess what? She brings in different coaches, and the first thing she asks them is, okay, how did you become this coach? Let's pull the curtain back a little bit. Let's see what you're about. Do you understand? If you didn't go through it yourself, do you understand the process of mindset? I'll just use an example. Do you understand the process of different foods that you have to eat? See, I pull that curtain. And you can really tell the ones that are deep, that really understand, have educated or had the experience or just have that expertise in it, whatever it is. You can learn from them. Then other questions I ask them is, okay, give us just a little sample of when somebody comes into your program, somebody comes into your life, somebody comes into your world, and they want you as a coach. What are like maybe 2 aspects of what you do? And I let them talk about that. And at the end, I basically, they give their information. So if you want to reach out to them. So that's an example of assessing qualifications experience. You can use this show as one of your tools to assess, to see the qualifications of different coaches that you might be looking for. Looking for the coaches with relevant qualifications, certain certificates they might have, the experience and the coaching. I know certificates not everything. Experience to me is huge. If they got a good experience, I mean, that's a lot. If somebody got 20, 30 years experience, that's something to look at. Now, I'm going to put a disclaimer. Just because a person might have, and I know you're like, well, wait a minute, Barbara, you just said they got 20, 30 years, they should be good. Yeah, but it depends on the individual still. I can have 25-year experience in the insurance world, but still doing the same thing over and over again. I might not have what you need in the area that you're looking for, because insurance is huge. I work in the commercial sector. I know the personal line sector of insurance, but I didn't work at that for 20 some years. I do commercial. So if somebody really wants me to coach them or give them advice about insurance, if they go into the commercial world, like their business or, contracting or a special event, anything that has to do with commercial, I can help you with that because I've been doing it. Personal, I'll give you, okay, you'll talk a little about auto homeowners, but then I would tell you, okay, I need you to go to this person and talk to this person because they're more depth when it comes to personal insurance. And that's a true to me when a coach could tell you something like that. Really look at that coach truly and say to yourself, wow, I like that, because now they're thinking about you and not their pocketbook. Because think about it, I can sit there and say, just because I just know that more commercial than personal, I can sit there and say, oh yeah, I can do it. Instead of giving you to somebody that has it unlocked and that understands that you need to talk to, I can sit there and say, I can take you in and say, yeah, I can learn it and go behind the scenes and learn it real quick or pick up some stuff and throw it to you. That's not being respectable of your client. That's not being respectable. No. The respect would be, I want this client to get everything they need in the areas of improvement that they need within their life. Because remember what I said, how crucial it is when you walk in somebody's life as being a coach and being a consultant. So you want to be true to your clients. So yeah. So that's another thing. If you can do referrals for other coaches and they're looking at you like, well, I looked at you as being a coach, but I need to make sure you're getting what you need. It's one thing, yes, I'm a coach. Yes, I do it on visibility. I'm just using an example here. But if you're trying to get visibility just on understanding how to run a podcast or a TV streaming or understanding how to talk when you're doing interviews, I'm your girl. I'm your lady. Even to the point of video production, understand a little bit about that and understand how you should have your own commercial. Everybody in the business has their own commercial. Using an example right now here. I can help you in that area. You want me to be a speaker on your platform to talk about visibility in that area? Yes. Now, if you want visibility about how to put how to write makeup on, the clothes, the color, and everything else, I'm going to give you to another person I know because that's not my expertise. I can tell you it's important, and I can tell you need to show up looking decent, but I can't tell you have your own personality when it comes to styling. So you're the stylist coach. See, that's a whole different coach. It's under visibility. It's under the visibility, but it's a different type of coach than a visibility TV, podcast, video than just a stylist. And there's so many other coaches under the visibility umbrella. So I would be wrong for me to try to be the visibility coach of the century to you. Because I know my expertise of what I can help you with. And I know some things that I know that I can help you to get somebody else as a wonderful coach to help you with that. So hopefully that makes sense. And when you're looking for coaches, now this is you looking for coaches, you need to ask those questions. It's okay to ask the questions. You're paying the money out. You're going to be trusting in this person to come in your life. You're investing. They're going to be investing in your life. You're going to be investing in your time with them. Why not ask the questions at the beginning? If you're not asking the questions, then I have a question for you. Why not? You should ask some questions. Because if you don't, then you're not ready to get a coach right now. You should be asking some of those questions, those qualifications, experience. What do they do? What areas do they do? And under that platform, under that broad, what kind of extent they dig deep, go deeper. And it's, now you have no person. Okay. You're a small business person. You need help with your small business to get to the next level. You get a coach, you go to a business coach. Business is huge, just like visibility is huge. Business can fall under all different critiques of coaches. Do you need a business coach that dealt with small businesses? Or do you need a business coach that's dealing with six-figure coaches and up? Or do you need somebody in the middle? And then what kind of business do they deal with? Do they deal with personal development businesses? Do they deal with stylists and hairstylists? Do they deal with health and wealth coaches? See how everything you see, that's where the questions should be. So when you're looking for coaches, don't say, I just need a coach. There's certain specialty coaches that you might have to look into for your need. Very important. Number 3, chemistry. You need to know that you can establish that strong rapport with your coach. It is so important for success within your coaching world, within your coaching journey with that person. That's why I always say, always schedule that initial consultation, whatever they call it, getting to know you, whatever, 15-minute, whatever, and really just see off bat, because most of the time you can tell. You can tell when you start talking to a person and seeing if that chemistry is there for you as them being your coach, or them, you feeling that within them as being a coach. Look at their communication, how they approach, their personality. Yeah, look at all that. Remember, this is important. This is relevant for you. Again, these are people going to be in your life for how long? I mean, you got life coaches in your life forever. If you don't have a good chemistry with them, then you already didn't win a battle. You might as well just say, okay, I just totally just, no, this is not good. I need to. And there was some people that I was looking at for a coach for me. And I had to go to somebody else for that particular thing that I needed in my life as a coach, because they were a friend, good friend, knew him for a while, but they couldn't be my coach. We had the chemistry of good friendship. And I told myself, I want to keep my friendship with you more so than I want you to be my coach. Because that's a whole nother side. And I don't even see that chemistry. And that's something, this is another tip to really learn. When you know friends that are coaches too, you got to really make sure that chemistry, it will flow or be right when they're coaching you. Your friends, and then you got to turn right around and listen to this friend, and they're coaching you on things, especially if you know that person really well, and some of the things that are in their life that they've been through, you could turn around and sit there and say, you telling me being a coach, but I know when you and I was back in the day. You know how people do. They'll bring up some stuff, and then you'd be like, wait a minute, I'm your coach right now. You need to put that to the side. I'm your coach right now. Even though there were some things we did together as friends, I have experience in this area, so I need you to listen to my suggestions because I'm your coach. No, well, you're my friend too, and I know back in the day. See, so if you can't separate those two, if you know for sure, first of all, you can't separate the two, or if you do not have the chemistry as a coach and a client, and also being a friend, then you need to look for another coach, period. Don't even go down that road. Don't even try it. Don't even say, well, we really respect each other. I don't care if you respect each other. Don't do it. I had to say no to 2 people. I had to rethink myself and say, I can be, in order to save my friendship, maybe I shouldn't mix that with the friendship. I respect the friendship better than I do just them coming to be my coach. I can find somebody else, and I pray about it. I always pray for my coaches. You got to do what you got to do. I pray. And see who's going to be that chemistry. So I always pray and say, you know what? I know they're good, and they could be excellent. They might be amazing in their lane. I mean, you into the point where you're like, everything you do, I just want to be under you as a client because you are just incredible. I have seen the changes you made. I've seen the changes you made in other people's lives. But just because I want to save the friendship right now, I cannot go into a coaching agreement with you. I just can't do it. Some people can. And I'm totally respect you if you can do both. But most of the time, you got to double check that. I know for myself, depending on the person and the whole thing, it wasn't that the only thing that made not a good fit was that. Everything else is awesome. but one thing. So you got to make sure the chemistry there, you don't want to make sure there's any kind of, because again, this is your life. This is what you're trying to move to the next level. You have time for the extra, I'm going to say extra stuff or drama that could occur, whatever. You need none of that. None of that right there. So look at that. Consider the factors you got to consider: trust, empathy, understanding. You know, a coach who has a good fit for you will create a safe and supportive environment. It makes it easier for you to open up, to set your goals, and then to work with them. So you need that trust factor. You need the empathy from them, that understanding that they understand, either good or bad. They need to understand you. And they need to have some kind of empathy there. I'm not saying to babysit you, but they need to have some kind of empathy. You have to be a good fit. For me, I always tell people, the coaches that I have in my life, one thing I always look for, one thing I look in for a coach, any coach I have, is they have to be straightforward with me. Have empathy, but have to be straightforward with me. I don't need somebody beating around the bush, trying to, well, let me see how I'm going to tell Barbara this. Oh boy, you need to just hit it, just say it. I don't want to waste the time. I don't want you wasting your time. I don't want me wasting my time. You tell me, Barbara, you need this, or Barbara, I see that you need help in this area. Let's work on that. Let me give you some tips on that. Let me help you out in that area. Having empathy, but still being strong enough to just say it without all the fluff. That's for me. Now, some other people might need the fluff and then go right into, what needs to be done. But that depends on the style that you need. Everybody has a different style when they want different coaches. So you gotta look at that. Okay, fourth thing. Just want real quick before I wrap this up. Before I wrap it up, let me get ready to wrap this thing up for you. Ask for references and feedback. Request. I'm going to say it one more time. Request for references from the coach and speak to previous clients if possible. Hear from other experiences with the coach can provide you with some valuable insight about them. Telling you, valuable insight. Then you can understand, look into their coaching style, how they're effective, what kind of results that they have with the client achieved. Look at the testimony, look at reviews, LinkedIn. That's why I always tell people, if you're a coach, you're going to be a coach, if you're already a coach, always get reviews and have your clients add that to your LinkedIn. That's the easiest way how people that's going to become your client could look real quickly of the reviews that you're getting. If you can talk to some of the clients, that'd be amazing. You can say what kind of experience they had, right? This gives you the confidence that the coach has the ability to deliver the results. Because you want results. At the end of the day, think about it. At the end of the day, we all want results, right? Now, it might take months. It might take years. It might take a little while. I don't care. I'm just trying to see what the end result is. Did you get the result for the person? Did wherever I need to go, did you help that person get to that point? So that's where you can ask for references and get some feedback in your mind. Now, I know we're all different. Maybe they got the coach for another reason, and that's why they got a certain result. But you gotta understand that. Don't slam the coach just because, okay, well, they got a result in this area. Well, that's a question you can come back and ask the coach. You can say, you know what? Wonderful coach. Give them the respect, give them the love, and say, I did talk to one of your former clients, and they said that they got a great result in building their confidence. But do you also work with people in this other area when it comes to speaking? The communication, do you, help say certain words a certain way or something? I'm just using an example here. So that gives you an example of, okay, they got the results for that one client for confidence, but maybe you want to have that coach for results for something else that coach said they can do for you, but the client that you talked to that had them was talking about confidence only. You want more than confidence, maybe. So you ask the question to the coach. And you respect the fact that you talked to the client and they did get the results for them for that particular portion that they wanted. So that's still good information. So, but because that gives you more of, okay, I need to ask the question now. That just put a question in my mind. Right? So, with all that said, remember, coaching is a collaborative process. I'm reading right from my notes because I want to make sure you get this. And finding the right coach involves a combination of qualifications, experience, personal connection, and alignment with your goals. Remember, take the time to research and interview potential coaches to ensure you make an informed decision that aligns with your aspirations, okay? Now, with that said, I want you to take the time out and tell yourself that first, I am somebody. Oh, that's popped in my head. I am somebody. It's like Jesse Jackson. I am somebody. But no, just on a non-joke, you are somebody. You are important. You are important to yourself and what you do, that gift that you have in you. Why not take the time out to figure out if you are going to have a coach in your life to do some of the tips that I told you, because it's not just a job that they're going to have in your life. They're going to be pouring in to you. Very important. They're going to be accountable for you. They're going to be giving you things that's going to make a difference if you're going to go right or you're going to go left in your life. That can create magic or create some problems if you don't have it the right way, if you're not dealing with the right people, if you're not with the right coach, if you don't have the right chemistry. All that comes together. So take that time out to ask yourself about what you really need in whatever area you're in that you're trying to get to, of what coach that you need in your life. And then also, as a nice plug here, watch the Coaches Lounge with Barbara J. Beckley every Monday at 8 o'clock Central Time, and you'll get to meet different coaches. And I'll help you with that research part. Okay? So that I would love to do that. That's why I'm here to spotlight. And if you are a coach, again, selfish plug. If you want to be on, you get 25 minutes to talk about you, to give us a little taste of what you do in coaching, whatever coaching that you do, and to give your information out. Here's a place. I got it for you. Hey, you asked for it. I created it. Like they say, if it's not built, build it yourself. And that's what I did. The Coaches Lounge with Barbara J. Beckley. I want everybody to understand you're worth it. You're worth getting the best because you are the best. I'm the best. You're the best. Everybody is the best in what you do. Treat yourself well. Respect yourself and take the time out to make sure that you pick out the coach that's needed for you in your life. With that said, I will see you on the other side when I start interviewing some more coaches next week. Like I said, this was a special edition of the Coaches Lounge. Just want to give you some things, some insight when it comes to understanding coaching, understanding who you should pick when it comes to coaching, and understanding that you deserve to take the time out to do it. Because what I always say, there's a gift in you, very special. That's your purpose. That's your PPD. That's your foundation. That's your diamond. That's your diamond factor in you. And then you need to have lights, camera, action and get that visibility to show yourself in front of others. But to get to that sometime, to get to the between, you might just need that coach. Be honest with yourself, because it's about you being great in what you do So guess what? Not only helping yourself, but you help others, and you are becoming a lighthouse to the world. See you next time on the Coaches Lounge.